All right, everybody. Chad Valdez coming at you, the host of the Chad Valdez YouTube channel, which you're catching and watching right now. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And also for a full audio format and version, and then you can find that via Apple Podcast of The Real Talk with Chad Valdez. And so I invite and encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel here and also follow The Real Talk with Chad Valdez Apple Podcast. And so coming on a Sunday evening, a Sunday night, a few hours after the Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Football Giants 49-17. Anybody saw that coming? No, everybody saw that one coming. And as I called it on Friday's Sports Talk this past Friday, that the Cowboys just might beat them again 40-0. They won't do it once, they'll do it twice. They'll have a very likelihood chance to do it. But they didn't score 40, they scored 49. And then the defense gave up that late touchdown into the game and made the score, 49-17. Come on, that's almost beating by 30 points. Good Lord. And then we're favored by 16, if I'm not mistaken. And so coming on to provide some commentary, some post-game commentary, some post-game hints, if you will, on that regard. And also going to be covering, to a degree, I'll be having a much deeper dive into the Cowboys win over the Giants, and also Texas A&M football's firing of Jimbo Fisher, which I really, really disagree with. Now, I understand coming from certain circumstances, but the timing of it is what I really do not like. I disagree with wholeheartedly. And so I've been diving into that and briefly. And once again, I'll have a much more coverage and insight and content on both of the subjects, as well as other college football and NFL coverage and insight and commentary on tomorrow afternoon's Sports Talk. I really do it in the mornings, but I got to do it tomorrow afternoon on Monday the 13th because a tremendous guest is coming on. Oh my God. This is going to be fantastic, unbelievable. You're going to have to catch into it. I'm still on that. I'm going to throw the bait out, if you will, tell you that a guest is coming on, but I'm not going to inform of the guest name until I post the actual of the sports talk that I conducted of the entire episode and also with the guests. And so stay tuned in for that. If you don't already follow The Real Talk with Chad Valdez via Apple Podcasts, I invite and encourage you to do it. They are sports talk segments that you do not want to miss, I'm telling you. So on the Cowboys here, they did exactly what they were supposed to. They did exactly what they were supposed to, coming off of a very tough loss to the rotten, stinking, filthy Philadelphia Eagles the week before up in Lincoln Financial Field. And we didn't get blown out. Cowboys didn't get blown out by them. Lost 20-25. Put it in their rearview mirror. Learn from the mistakes. Capitalized on the very good things that did happen in that game. And so you fast forward to Sunday, you had a tremendous game by my quarterback, my quarterback, Dak Prescott. 26 for 35, 404 yards. That's a lot of fours in there. 404 yards for my quarterback, number 4. On the field, number 1 in your heart, Dak Prescott. So that was really tremendous. 4 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground, and two other touchdowns as well that we had. And so 49-17, an onslaught. 2 totally different teams, 2 totally different types of playing of football, of a dominating offense, defense, and special teams to a degree. Special teams did a really good job today over the Giants, as all 3 phases. Complimentary football is what that is. Would you be surprised? Another bleeping flag penalty in this snoozer, this dumpster fire of an NFL game between the Jets and the Raiders. It's absolutely ugly. Wilson gets called, it looks like, for a holding or illegal hands to the face here. I don't know about that call. And then he gets his hand injured. My God. I guess he got the hand injury because that's where he was. We had that illegal hand to the face mask. My God. And so he's back in it. You're not going to keep him out for long. 3rd and 16 at their own 9-yard line. I wonder what's going to happen here to the Jets. Wow, that was a pretty good stick. about 5 yards short of the first down, punt the stinking ball, as you can hear the lips there of Robert Saleh. Just a snoozer of a game. I mean, my God, it is absolutely ugly football. But was not ugly football. How about that segue? See what I did there? The Cowboys win over the Giants at home. So they're 2-1 in the division. They get a season sweep once again over the Giants. And it's not that I'm gloating it. I'm just talking about what happened. Because they are an inferior team, the Giants are this season. And so you knew damn well that the Cowboys were going to win as they were supposed to. Defense played lights out. Offense played lights out. Dak played great, as I said the stats, 404 yards. And he had also 2 rushes for 17 yards. One of those rushes was for a touchdown. He was smart with the ball when he had to take a sack, which is very limited in this game against the Giants. The interception was not on him. It was early in the game. But I'm sure the Dak Prescott, the haters, the discreditors, the naysayers will only be talking about that interception versus the 404 yards, versus the 4 touchdowns, and 1 on the ground. And that kind of rhymed as well. Poet didn't even know it. And yes, I know, I'm talking about what happened. I'm not gloating a big 49-17 win over a very bad NFL New York Giants team. And so I'm going to have a much deeper dive into that. Oh, before I close on that, 640 yards is what the offense had. And Cooper Rush is still getting in there when the game is blown out. And him saying, here we go. That's Dak Prescott's cadence, Cooper Rush. All due respect to you. Stop copying that from a fan's perspective, from a guy that's been a lifelong Cowboys fan, from someone that has been a career Dak Prescott guy, I say in his career, if you will, ever since he's been in the league in 2016. Another rhyme to a degree. And so I really wish he would quit doing that. But obviously Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush, they get along. And if Trey Lance freaking does it, if he ever gets into a game, I mean, my God, I won't be surprised if he actually gets to play versus the Carolina Panthers, because they're a dumpster fire of a team as well. I won't be surprised if Carolina, in the Carolina game, that Trey Lance gets to get his first playing with the Cowboys since coming on of a trade right before we go to play the San Francisco 49ers. How about that? So I'm going to have a deeper dive on the Cowboys win on tomorrow's Sports Talk. The remainder about this, I'm going to close it out here in just a moment. Just do quick hits, if you will, short video, and a much, much deeper dive into the Sports Talk is on via the Real Talk with Chad Valdez via Apple Podcasts. And so, as I close it out here, Texas A&M fires Jimbo Fisher. I get it. I understand the move. He was brought there to win SEC championships, brought there to contend for national championships, and if it all goes well, win one of those as well. It didn't even come close to that. One season that it was in 2020, but we can't continuously, anybody, to talk about that 2020 season. Not that we gloat that, but it was the closest that we had. And I'm not even going to talk about further about the 2020 season. That was the only season, excluding the first one, 9-4. You don't set your goals to be 9-4. You don't set your goals, hey, we're going to be 9-4 this year. Absolutely not. That was the end result of the season. So, I was at the game last night. I went down to College Station for the game versus Mississippi State. It was fantastic. Unbelievable. Getting up to the press box, unbelievable. A great aerial view there of Kyle Field. It was tremendous. And so I was really, really, really just appreciative that I got to be there for that. And as all Texas A&M football fans and graduates and all of that, lifelong A&M fans, you got to be there for Jimbo Fisher's last game as head coach for Texas A&M. We're all going to remember that. So you get there, and it was a game that A&M was going to win. And even though that it doesn't look like it was an ultimatum, hey, if you don't win this game, you're fired. Nothing like that, because the decision was made a couple of days prior. From what sources were saying, that was on Thursday that it was made that we're going to relieve Jimbo Fisher of his duties after the Mississippi State game. So I don't like the timing of it at all. There's 2 games left to go in the regular season. You got a powder puff game, if you will, over against Abilene Christian next Saturday to conclude the home season. So those seniors, those players that were recruited by Jimbo Fisher, whether they're seniors or not, and then the last game of the season of this year is without Jimbo, with the interim head coach, all due respect to him, Elijah Robinson. He's been there with A&M ever since Jimbo Fisher's been there. So I don't like the timing of it. I really don't like the decision because, he brought it up himself, Jimbo did, on a previous weekly press conference that, these quarterback injuries have just been freak accidents, fluke accidents, not freak, but fluke accidents. This season, the previous season, and in 2021 with Haynes King, Zach Calzada. He's going to be on 3 quarterbacks for the past 3 seasons. That is very unfortunate, and a lot of those has been those fluke accidents or just a specific injury like what Connor Wegeman had. Jalen Henderson balled out, absolutely balled out. Something to look forward to going forward. So the A&M firing of Jimbo Fisher, I really do not like the call. It was said earlier in the week that A&M was going to give him one more season in 2024. Was that bait? Was that accurate information? Obviously not, because 2 to 3 days later, they fired the guy. And, getting the chance to meet Jimbo Fisher, getting the chance to meet him the past couple of years with a handshake, and passed right by him on the field after the game and gave him a handshake and said, "Congratulations, coach, good win." And the body language was just not there. He probably saw it coming, scented it coming, and it's really unfortunate for him. Obviously, he's fine, and whether he goes on, continue to coaching, he'll be available. A lot of teams are going to want him. They know what he brings to the table, and it is said by Ross Bjork, athletic director, who I was 5 feet in front of him on the sideline at the damn game last night. They said it was very quick and it was cordial. I mean, he's not going to ask for his job. He's not going to beg for his job. The decision is made. There's nothing Jimbo can do about it. And so you'd expect that from a very reputable Division I head football college coach, saw the writing on the wall, and he probably knew that going into that meeting. Hey, I'm done here. So not this, I'm just kind of paraphrasing, thinking out loud that that's what happened. So really unfortunate. I'm going to have a deeper dive, as I say, into that on tomorrow's Sports Talk, where you can find that via Apple Podcast, The Real Talk with Chad Valdez, as we close it out here on a snoozer of a football game, a nationally televised game that the Jets get to be in it again, and it is versus the Raiders. And let's get one more live cut here. One more live cut. Is that another penalty? As I'm trying to close out this Sports Talk here, there is another penalty, or at least I thought it was. That is ugly football. And as I close this out, everybody, I really appreciate you joining in and tuning in to the YouTube videos here, throwing some added entertainment here, as I also do on the Apple Podcast. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's on-air sports talk that I will be conducting in the afternoon. Stay tuned in for that. And follow the podcast and also subscribe to it right here, the Chad Valdez YouTube channel. And as I close out on the audio format, tell a family member, tell a friend, and until next time, I will catch you on the next one. This is the Chad Valdez YouTube channel.